everyone, I'm Jen.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Jen and Joe on the go.
Unfortunately, what this video means is that we're going, but going home.
We've been here for 9 nights and 10 days.
Yes, it's been a while.
We stayed at
a hot minute.
The Hyatt MCO.
Yes.
We stayed at Caribbean Beach Resort.
Yes.
And we finished up with 7 nights at Coronado Springs in the Casita section.
Yes.
We visited all 4 parks.
Yes.
We went to Magic Kingdom twice.
Yeah.
We visited Epcot,
yeah,
Animal Kingdom, and for the first time did after hours at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
We did all 4 parks on this trip, which is really crazy. When we were here in November, we did all the parks as well.
We did.
So this is 2 trips in a row where we've done these parks. Last July when we came, we didn't do any parks.
We did not. So this made up for it.
I guess, yeah, crazy.
So if you're watching this video, it means the time has come to share with you our peaks and pits of this trip, February 2025.
And it depends on if you are cup half empty or cup half full. Because if you're cup half empty, you might say we're sharing our pits and peaks.
That's true, Joe.
But there are more peaks than pits, more positives than negatives, for sure.
We're going to keep this real. We are going to start with the pits first.
Sure, why not?
So if you are not interested in the pits we experienced, you might want to fast forward a little bit to when we get to the peaks.
But the pits are the juiciest part, so.
And I feel if you don't share the pits, things will never get better. If you aren't open and honest about things that went wrong with your trip, then they can't be fixed for somebody else.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And it's also just so that you're aware that as much as things are great here, it's not perfect, and there's still going to be a few little things that you might encounter. So just to be prepared for some things that you might run into. So for us, these weren't, deal breakers. It didn't ruin the trip at all. There were just a couple of negatives that we wanted to point out. So I want to preface it by saying this first one. The buses the entire week were really good.
They were fabulous.
November, last July, buses were really good every time. So we were really surprised that on Sunday, it basically went right into the toilet. Oh my gosh, the whole day. It's like, did half of the bus crew call off sick? Like, I don't know what happened on Sunday, but...
I waited an hour for a bus at Coronado Springs to go to Disney Springs and then 20 minutes on the bus. So it took me 80 minutes to get to Disney Springs from Coronado.
You could have walked faster.
I probably could have.
So and then part of the day too, she left Magic Kingdom earlier than I did. So I waited a long time for a bus at Magic Kingdom to get to Coronado Springs. The bus pulled up, she came around the loop, and then just sat there. Because they were waiting, they were switching drivers. One was ending the shift, the other was starting. So that driver had to do his walk around, log in, blah, 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 blah. So that took extra time.
Safety inspection.
Sunday evening, we took the bus from Disney Springs back to Coronado.
We waited about 20 minutes for it to come. And when it did, I don't think the bus driver, maybe she was newer and didn't quite know where she was going, but we were on the bus. What should have been a 15-minute ride took almost 40 minutes to get back, and it was freezing, and she had the air conditioning on.
Oh my gosh, I thought it was a friggin' igloo. We walked into an igloo.
It was like, has anyone seen Trains, Planes, and Automobiles where John Candy and Steve Martin are sitting in back of the ice cream truck?
The pickup truck, yeah.
Yeah, it was like that.
What do you think the temperature is?
No, the other part where they were sitting in the frozen section because the driver didn't want them to sit with them.
In the truck, yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking the pickup truck because that's always the most infamous line. It's like, although there are many in that movie, but it's like, what do you think the temperature is? 1? Yeah.
So it's just funny how one bad bus day can ruin it for the whole trip. So it was a bad day for buses on Sunday. But everything else was great.
Yes, the buses were really actually good for the rest of the week. So that was kind of weird.
The second problem we encountered was at 2 restaurants with the reservation system. So we did eat at Amare at the Swan Reserve, and they did not get our reservation. Thank goodness the other couple in our party screenshotted it. So what we learned is that sometimes when you make a dining reservation on the MDE site for a
My Disney Experience app.
for a restaurant that is not Disney, it will not take the reservation. It shows you that you have a reservation, but they don't get it on their side.
Sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time. Because we've booked several non-Disney restaurants
And we
through the
do
MDE
all
app.
the time, and this is the first time this has
Yeah.
happened, and twice in one trip.
Right. So it was the one person at Amari who said it, and then the second person at Cake Bake the next day said it as well. And he actually went even further to say that Disney, with their dining system in the MDE app, is using Windows 98. And I looked
That
at him.
explains a lot.
I looked at him and I said, "Are you kidding me? Windows 98?" He shrugged his shoulders and said, "Yeah, that sometimes when some people will book a non-Disney restaurant through My Disney Experience app, it doesn't follow through to the restaurant's system. So you show up to the restaurant saying, 'I have a reservation,' and they look at you like a deer in headlights saying, 'No, you don't.'"
So with Cake Bake, it did show that we had a reservation. However, they told us it would be a little bit until they were able to get us our table. So they told us to just wait a minute. After 20 minutes, we still didn't hear anything. So we walked back
25,
up
yeah.
and asked politely, "Hey, what happened to our
What's
table?"
up?
And it showed on their side that they had already seated us.
Yeah, don't know.
So that was weird because it's never happened before. And now there were 2 glitches in this trip.
Right. So that leads to the third pit, getting into Cake Bake. It took longer than necessary to get in there, and then also the wait staff at the beginning was lacking. And we have a full Cake Bake video,
Yeah.
which I can link in the description below. But you can also just look at our playlist that we have here for this trip. Initially it just seemed a little slow, but then he made up for it, and everything else was really good. So overall, with
I think
that
the problem
experience-
there is that our waiter was also bartending.
Yeah, we're
He
taking
was-
care of people
right,
at the bar.
He was doing double duty, which, first of all, the restaurant was not even halfway filled up, and number 2, it seemed like there were more than enough staff. So I don't know what that issue was,
But-
because 2 other people did come during our breakfast to take care of the people at the bar.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but once he started taking care of us,
Yeah.
everything went very smoothly, and the food came out quickly, and it was hot. So, I mean, it was just
Yes.
that initial getting in, which was kind of off and odd, but the rest of the experience was fine. You could, like I said, watch that video to get the full review of Cake Bake and what we thought of our third time dining there for breakfast.
And then our third pit
Really,
was Bell
I think this is
Services at
fourth.
Coronado Springs.
This is kind of fourth now.
No, because I would lump Amari and Cake Bake into one. It was the reservation
It was the
system.
buses, the reservation system, the
So
wait
this is-
staff at Cake Bake, and now
Okay,
Bell
if you're
Services
going to be
today.
really technical about
Well,
it.
yeah, I guess.
So the next
Not that
problem
I'm
that
keeping
we
track,
had
but yeah, so
was with Bell Services
today.
at Coronado Springs. So we called to have our luggage picked up because we have a full day before our flight tonight.
Yeah.
And they said they would be right up. Half hour later, no one had come, so we called
35
back down.
minutes.
They didn't have us in the system.
Yeah.
They told us it was going to be another half hour. I'm like, we've already waited a half hour. We have a dining reservation
Yeah.
that we need to get to, and so
Yeah.
we were in the casita section of Coronado Springs and had to wheel 5 bags to Destino Tower.
Yeah.
That was a lot, and there was no, "I'm so sorry, let's move you to the top of the list," "our bad." It was kind of like, whatever,
Yeah.
too bad, so
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. So that was really frustrating. When I placed the original call, the guy who answered the phone I told him the room number. He asked me the room number, which normally when you call, this is the other odd thing about it. At Disney, when you call, they already know where you're calling from. They know you by name. At least that's how it used to be.
He said he didn't even have us in the system.
No. So this guy that I spoke to initially asked for the room number. I gave him the room number, 5404. He said 5104. I said no, 5404. He said, okay, stay in your room. We'll be there in a few minutes. And that was it. So needless to say, whatever. I mean, that is what it is. So we wheeled the bags over to the main lobby ourselves, and at least it wasn't raining. Because if it was raining, that would have been even worse.
Yeah.
So there's that. But it does take away. I mean, it's the last day. We're bringing our bags down. We're leaving.
It's a long walk.
This is the taste that's left in your mouth after, being here a week.
The other thing I'm going to say,
But
and this is more of for your information, so if this happens to you, hopefully you'll take care of it. if you get to your hotel room, your Disney room, and there are any problems with it, your remote control's not working for your TV.
Yeah.
You're missing light bulbs. Your outlets are bad. Any part of your room is dirty. Your faucets are backing up, or your shower's not draining. You need to report those things. You can't feel like, oh, I just feel bad for complaining.
No.
You can do it in a very nice way, but you're paying a lot of money to stay at Disney, and your room should reflect that kind of money that you're spending. And if there is anything wrong with your room, and we experienced a couple things, our remote control at Caribbean Beach Resort, the back of it.
No, this is a Coronado. This is a Coronado.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Caribbean Beach was fine. Coronado had the cover for the batteries of the remote control kept falling off, and then in the shower itself there was a ring around the handle, and that
had fallen off, and we weren't getting hot water. It was lukewarm at best.
Yeah, but that was, I think, the way the shower setting was.
Well,
there was the handheld part, which wasn't fully turned off. So, but yeah, I don't know if they addressed that as well. Because after we asked them about it, because
we did address
then
that.
we got really hot water. But anyways,
but you need to let people know if there's something wrong in your room, so it can get fixed, not only for you but for the people that are going to take your room after you.
So now, normally when housekeeping comes to the room, there's a checklist they go through, and if there's anything wrong, they mark it off on the list, or their supervisor who comes in after the person cleaning will check things. And those are things that need to be addressed. And for whatever reason, this wasn't. So again, if there is anything you find when you get to the room, report it so that way they can take care of it. It should be taken care of before you get in the room, but again, it's not always perfect, so you have to take certain things into consideration, give them the benefit of the doubt for
and it's okay
to
tell the front desk that there is a problem with your room. Just do it in a nice way. Be polite, be courteous, be kind, be respectful. But you need to let them know, because if they don't know, they can't correct that for the next family or for yourself.
Right. And when we did this, we asked them about it, and we went out. We were wherever we went that day, and by the time we got back home,
it was all taken care of.
It was all taken care of. Yeah. So as long as you're okay with someone coming into your room when you're not there, which we were fine with, they took care of everything while we were gone, and boom, it was done. So those are the things that make it really nice, the special treatment that you get from some of the cast members.
Yes.
So that leads to all of the peaks that we had of this
and we
trip.
had so many.
Right, yeah.
So our room at Caribbean Beach Resort and at Coronado Springs, they were both ready by 11 o'clock in the morning, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Our dining, I think this was some of the best food that we've had. And we always have great food at Disney, but this food, just everything stood out. Everything was great. The service was great. The food was great.
Yeah.
It was an amazing amazing dining experiences at Disney this trip.
Because we tried some new places and tried new things, and very pleased with everything that we did.
We will have dining videos coming up of the Edison and...
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just thought of something, but finish your thought.
Of the Edison, Amare, we're going to do a couple special alcohol videos for you instead of food reviews. Just the food was top notch this trip.
So we forgot one pit, which was a big one, And this is probably because we were talking about the food. And we went at Coronado Springs. We went to Rick's.
I hate saying this too.
I know, this is crazy, but we went to Rick's for breakfast one morning, and we had Alma, the same server that we had last July, and she remembered us. So it was really lovely experience to get started. And then we sat and waited for our food. And at that point now,
people who came in after us had already finished eating and left.
Yeah, so...
And we still hadn't gotten our food
And at that point, I had like a protein bowl, which those are pre-made, and you had...
I was
an omelet,
doing,
right?
Yes,
you were doing
an omelet.
It was a simple omelet with cheese and mushroom, whatever you had on it. So nothing that should have taken long. So anyway, by the end of it, I said to him, sorry, we can't stay. We have, got to get to the park. We're meeting Steve and Ariane, blah, 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 whatever.
We threw a 20 on the table for two coffees and had to leave.
And that's it. So
it's almost like they lost our order and forgot about us.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So I was very, very disappointed with that.
And that was at Rick's Bar and Grill in Coronado Springs.
So last night, it was raining all day yesterday, so instead of leaving the resort again, we just went back to Rick's and sat at the bar. And we were very hesitant to do that, but we figured let's sit at the bar.
You're
It'll be
like,
a
it
little
had to have
easier.
been just a fluky
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
because we've always had great food there and great service. So I'm
Yes.
glad we went back because Rue took care of us at the bar and she was fantastic.
Yes.
Our food was fantastic.
Yes.
So
Yeah, so
you know,
it was so nice that I left a cast compliment for her. So it was just one of those things where, again, it was probably something happened that day, but yeah.
which leads me to say, if you have a bad experience at a restaurant, everybody has an off night.
Right.
Don't necessarily write that restaurant off and say, I'm never coming back.
Right.
Give it another try, because we went back just a few days later and our food came out like within 10 minutes.
Again, I have a video for that one, so look for that one. But I had this poke bowl with tuna. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was
And I
so
had a
ridiculously
nacho
good.
platter, and it was big enough to feed a family of 5.
Yeah, I think that's probably another pit I can say, which is on us, that we just ate way too much. We could have split. We could have cut our dining bills in half just by sharing, because we ate way too much. Oh my Lord. But anyway.
So then going back to the
Peaks,
peaks,
yeah.
we had great luck using the Lightning Lane at
Yes.
Magic Kingdom and not using the
Yes,
Lightning Lane
both
at
days.
the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that was really great. And it was so funny because the timing for certain things, like even though we did Lightning Lane on Sunday, after you left, I did Tiana's, which I really enjoyed. But then walking out, there was a 5-minute wait for Pirates. And I don't know what that was about, because I went on it again. It was a walkthrough, like a walk-on. Just got on. By the time I got off the ride and came around, it was a 30-minute wait.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened that caused it to be down to 5 minutes, but we had, like Peter Pan, if it's less than 60 minutes, that's a good day. Twice we saw it at 45 minutes.
Right.
We waited on Saturday not even 35 minutes to get in Peter Pan. So there were a lot of really good things with the rides. And we timed everything out really well. And then the way you and Ariane did the stacking of the Lightning Lane stuff.
So look
on
for
Sunday.
that video when it comes out, because we did a whole video on not using Lightning Lane and what the wait was posted at and what we actually waited.
Yeah.
And all the attractions that we waited for the wait times were inflated.
Right, yes, yeah. So it ended up being pretty nice.
So
all the
you
way
do
through.
don't be scared and feel bullied and pressured in buying Lightning Lane, because if you time things out and you plan a little of your day, you really don't need it.
Yeah. It just depends on if you want the convenience of, in essence, cutting the line, which we've done both now, and we were very reluctant to fall into the Lightning Lane user group, but we've been doing it now a few times, and it does definitely make things easier. So anyway.
Yeah, so maybe buy it for part of your trip, but you don't need it for all of your trip.
Yeah. So I think overall then too, with the rest of the peaks, just the overall experience that you get here at Disney, we've had a lot of really good positive things.
A lot of great cast members.
Yeah. As always, the cast members either will make it or break it. So that's always been really very nice. So for the most part, there's a lot more positive. The different parks, we did Hollywood Studios for the after hours event.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Which was really nice.
We've done
Really enjoyed
after
that.
hours at Epcot and Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, and we've done the Villains after hours
Yeah.
at Magic Kingdom, but we hadn't been able to do Hollywood Studios until this past week, and it was an A+. We hit every ride.
Yeah. I even did Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, which, I don't want to say I was pressured
You
to
were
do
pressured.
that by Steve and Ariane, but I did enjoy it. It was fun. That ride just.
So-
but it was fun.
After hours are an additional expense, but and we will have a full video on it,
Yeah.
but I think it's totally worth the cost.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We I just had a really good time that night. It was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crowded week. We were here during the Princess Marathon,
Yeah.
and you could definitely feel the crowds being heavier, but
yeah.
I don't really think they affected our trip at all.
Not really. I mean, there was that one day, Sunday, where it was the marathon in the morning at Epcot that was finishing up. So there was a lot of traffic. So it was very difficult to get to the Grand Floridian
And we
Sunday
missed
morning.
our dining reservation,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Disney actually charged us for it. But again, we politely went up to the front desk of our resort and said, listen, we've never run into this problem before where we haven't shown up for a dining reservation. We were charged $40, but we physically couldn't get there. Everything was so backed up that by the time we got to the reservation, Disney had already canceled it. But it wasn't our fault. It was just all the congestion and the traffic from the marathon prevented us from getting there on time, and we left an hour before our reservation time. But again, we were very polite about it, and Disney was like, the cast member said, no, not a problem, I will take that off for you.
Yeah, Buena Vista Drive was a parking lot, and then even World Drive was not moving much at all. So we had to actually loop around and go a totally opposite way that you would normally do. So the driver, I actually was helping the driver, looking at my map as he was looking at his. Well, let's try this way instead. So we eventually got there, but they were very nice, and they reversed the charges. Because if you make a reservation and don't show up,
Disney's going to charge you $20 a person.
Yeah. So, and that's to try to avoid making a
People
reservation.
not showing up.
Not showing up. So because the reservations sometimes are hard to come by, so they want to try to minimize that a little bit. But again, cast members took care of us. We politely asked, like, not a problem. She just said, yeah, let me check, and boom, done. So that part is really nice, and I know that there are a lot of people that come here, and it's very difficult to treat everybody like special, royalty, whatever. But it just seems like when you do ask something of a cast member, they go out of their way to try to make it happen for you.
And it's all about how you handle the situation.
Yeah.
If you're polite and respectful, they're going to help you out.
Like
They want you to have a good vacation. They want you to come back.
Yeah, like I think this morning with bell services, I was still polite, but I was irritated polite when I said to this guy, like, I'm just wondering how did blah 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 blah. So and he apologized, and it's fine, no big deal. I mean, I need the exercise, so I just pulled the bags across. But it's a long walk. I had like the 2 big suitcases plus my backpack and your bag. So anyway.
Especially when it's cold.
It wasn't too bad. I was warming up. Pulling those bags, are you kidding?
Sure.
But again, at least it wasn't raining.
So anyway, it was a great trip.
Yes.
We really had fun. I can't wait to come back. Got a little bit of time before that next trip.
But overall, another positive, good experience. Obviously, then on the personal side of things, getting to see Steve and Ariane, which that had been planned.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, Timmy and Anna. But the other big thing is that we weren't expecting to see Melinda and Ryan.
Yes, our other friends popped in, and we were able to have dinner with them.
Yeah, so that was a really nice, unexpected evening Saturday at Toledo, at Coronado Springs. I guess we could say, let me just ask you this then as we finish this up. What was your favorite meal? What was your best meal
Oh gosh,
of
there
the
were
week?
so
Since we
many
had so
good
many
meals.
Good ones, but I already know what I'm going to say.
I'm going to say, just off the top of my head, because everything was honestly so good, I really enjoyed Toledo, and I really enjoyed the Edison.
See, Toledo, we didn't eat as much. We kind of took it easy
but
that
everything
night.
we ate was delicious.
Everything was really, really good. I'm going to say Maya Grill.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean,
and we will not have a dining review of Toledo. We did not.
Yeah,
do
we didn't
one
record that night
because we were with friends.
Yeah.
But we will have a video.
Maya Grill,
The Edison.
And we did the Edison, we did Amari, we did Il Molino as well. We didn't record that one though, but we had dinner there for Ariane's birthday. And Il Molino was really actually very, very lovely again as well.
Oh, that's right, I forgot Il Molino.
Yeah,
that was excellent.
Maya Grill, just the entire evening with Marcelo playing, the guitar player there at Maya Grill. He's there every day, works 7 days a week, usually in the evenings. The guy's been there for years, and he's just a pure joy to accompany your dinner. I really think this time around, last July was Il Molino for Disney until we got to Gaylord Palms, and we went to the steakhouse there at the Gaylord Palms. This time I'm going to say Maya Grill.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
All right, scratch that. I'm going to agree. I think Maya Grill was
good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good.
The drink, the food, the service, the atmosphere. Yeah, so, all right.
So we're going to put out this video first.
No, it's going to be last. No, it's going to be last. The Pits and Peaks.
I think it should
You want
go
me
out
to do
first.
first?
I think it should go out first because then everyone will be able to see what we went through and how great everything was. They'll want to see what
You want me to put this up
they'll
first?
know what they want to tune in to watch.
All right, you guys tell me, what should I do? But you're not going to see
Yeah.
this unless I put it up. So that's a stupid
I
question
say
to
we're
ask.
going to put this up first.
All right, rock, paper, scissors. Let's pull of Molly and
Alan?
Yeah, we'll see. If you want, yeah, I'll put it up first. That's fine, so you can get a little tease. So as the videos, all right, if you want, I'll put this up first. It'll make it easier for editing. So most likely this will go up this Sunday coming up. As you're listening to our reviews of things, you can several times a week, each week come back, and these videos will start popping up so you can see exactly what we're talking about. So,
Yes. So,
okay.
All right. So hopefully you enjoyed our Pits and
Hopefully
Peaks
you're still
edition
around 25 minutes into this thing.
of our February 2025 trip. It was a good one. I can't
Yes.
wait to come back.
Yes.
Follow along on all of our other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. We're the same, Jen and Joe on the go. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe on the go action because we have so many videos to show you of this trip. And then we'll be heading back down.
Yeah, we got our next trip coming up in May.
But actually, we have a mini trip planned coming up in a week and a half.
Yes.
And those videos will probably be in between some of these Disney
Possibly,
videos.
yeah, it depends on how that goes with editing.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're doing a staycation type thing back home for a couple days for a weekend. For a special occasion that weekend. So, anyway, look for that
All
too.
right. So thanks for watching, and we'll
All
see you
right.
in the next one.
Bye.